is Irontrader, and this is Midday Trading. So we'll take a look here at NVDA, which your numbers are coming out here today after the bell. We'll take a look here at Tesla, Apple, and OneStream. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy or sell stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, here we have NVIDIA. Now, the options are saying about a 7% move, so we've got to see how that's going to shake out. Now, remember, the numbers are here are after the close today, and it could be a market mover here on the old tech here for the rest of the week and maybe even the rest of the year. All depends on what they got to say. Okay, so let's take a look here. Now, you can see we had a little pop up, a little higher high, higher low level. The key is going to be right here. It's getting right back. Your big time resistance is 186.34. You got to get above that. Next level there we're going to be doing is going to be 189.53. And then we have your 21-day at 192.71 level. Okay, now, again, if we can crack above that, then we got a nice target up here at 195.89. We'll come up there at 199.94. And then we just venture right on up here, 202.92. And then this is what we're going to be looking for. This is 203.97. There's your gap, and then we look to the bottom of that candle at 205.56. Okay, so your gap again at 203.97, and then look to the bottom of that candle at 205.56, and then we have the retest at 211, and then the big boy there at 212.19. Now we crack that, you're going to go to that 225 and venture all the way up to that 250 eventually. Okay, but right now you can see here how we're stuck right below that 8-day. Very, very strong resistance. Okay. Now, on the downside, we want to watch obviously today's low. You're looking at that 183.28. And then right here is the old Hundo at 179.79. And then we have right here 176.76. That's your big retest. Okay. Now, if we lose this level right there, then we're going to come and just bring these price channels right across. And what do we got there? Okay. You got 173.13. Okay. Then come and bring this price channel across. 168.14. And then we bring that price channel right across. We got 166.74. Then we have your big retest down here at 164.07 level. Then obviously you work your way all the way down to that 200 SMA here. But right now it's not really telling you which way is going to be going. Right here, your RSI is sitting at 46. That's not overbought or oversold. The green is below your red here, so it shows the momentum to the downside, which it basically has. Now again, remember, NVIDIA had a really good run all the way from this 86 level. I think what do you have there? Yeah, 86.62 all the way on up here. Okay, so now I'm long this stock because I still have a big belief in it. I think this is involved with everything. They're making deals every day, and eventually somebody will come up there and challenge what they're doing. But right now, I think this is the cat's ass right here. Okay, so again, I think any kind of a pullback would be a good buying opportunity, and then we'll see if it's going to rise up. If we can start cracking that 50-day on the upside there, okay, we can crack that 8-day on the upside and that 21-day. Then you can also buy in strength and we take and retest that 212 level. Okay, let's take a look here now at Tesla. All right, here we have Tesla. Now, Tesla, matter of fact, Elon is speaking right now. He's on CNBC, and he's talking to the Saudi guy, and he's talking to Jensen Huang. So they're all like in big brew thing going on here. So, they're all going to be a big project that they want to get. They want to put these supercomputers going on there in Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is just not going to be just this oil company anymore. They're going to be a pretty good sized powerhouse. That's why the OT man, he really knows this. So that's why he wants to make sure that he locks in a pretty good alliance with Saudi Arabia. Okay, now, here we have the old Tesla. Now you can see here how we had this double top situation, okay? 4.74 we had right here at 4.70. See that double top? And then she came right on down, and then we held this 100-day, which is very nice. Now we just have sideways consolidation. Now look at this 8-day. See how we ran up into it, okay? Into it. That's going to be very, very strong resistance. So this is what you're looking for, is that 417.65. You got to crack above that. Then we can come over here to the top of that candle. You get a 423.96. Then we're looking for that 50-day at 433. And then we come up here at that 437.35 level, which is your 21-day. Now, we crack above that. We got a nice good target right up here at that 449.67. And we come up here at 467. And then obviously your big retest at 474. We crack that. You're going to go to that 500 mark. Okay. Now, on the downside, we always want to watch today's low. That's that 400, pretty much flat. And then we want to watch 393.71. And then your retest there at 382.78. And then we have 379. 39 level. Okay, so now if we start losing that level, then we want to do is we want to come right to the left of the chart here, looking at 367.71 level. Okay, come over here, we're looking at that 357.54 level. Then you can work your way down here to that 200-day. But right now, Tesla's involved with so many different things, and he's always at the right place and at the right time. So now again, if he gets in there with Jensen and they start going with the NVDA there, and they start branching off in all these different beyond different companies like Saudi Arabia and this and this and this, I just think Tesla's going to be a good trade to go higher. And same way with NVIDIA. So you got to be very, I would just get into those there. That's what I say. I'm long both of these stocks, and I also trade both of these stocks. Okay, now we're sitting here at 43. That's not overbought, oversold. The green is below your red kind of a situation. So right now we're just kind of really watching, but the key is going to be getting back above that, closing above that 8-day. Once we do, you got a nice good target at that 50-day and that 21 SMA on the upside. On the downside, just watch that retest 382, and then we want to watch that 100-day at 379 level. Okay, let's take a look here now at Apple. All righty, here we have Apple. Okay, now Apple here is actually looking very, very bullish stock. Look at it. We came all the way down here from this bottom at 169. And then she rallied right on up here. So you see how I trade this is about 4 times, actually 5 times a year. Okay, I always buy this stock. I'm a long-term holder of it, don't get me wrong. But I always buy this stock, and then I trade it into earnings. I sell half before and sell half after. And then when you have that big, all their new products come out in September, I always trade ahead of that and then dump it out. But this product cycle here that they had, this was kind of like an eye-opener. They usually don't have that. Usually it goes, sells into it, then it sells off, and then, and then kind of like flattens out. But you can see how this is just like really, really stair-stepping higher. And I think you're going to crack that 277 and hit that 300 mark there. Okay. Now, maybe not today, but I think down the road, I think this is a very, very good stock. Now, what we're watching here is this 21-day, 268.84, and then we're going to be looking here right there for that 271. That's going to be very, very key. If we start cracking above all that kind of situation, then we can come to the top of that candle. You're looking at 274.14 level, and then we can go out to that 277.32. You crack that, you're going to go to that 300 mark. But again, just watch this 21-day and watch that 8-day. That's going to be very, very strong resistance. We need to get back above that, and we need to close above this number, not a pop and drop. To close above that number. Now, on the downside here, we have this, look at today's low at 265 situation, okay? Then we can just venture right on down here. What we got there, you got that 259 level. We come down here at 258. But this is what I want you to watch is right here. This level right here is at 255.43, okay? And then that's your gap, and then we have that fill at 253.38. So we have the gap, and we have the fill, but we have that nice 50-day that's moving right up here nicely, again, before we hit that gap and that fill, okay? So that 50-day is going to be very, very key. So it does sell off. It should hold that 50-day. If not, just watch that gap and watch that fill situation. And then, again, we can always retest this bottom right there at that 244 level and all the way down to 239. But right now, this is really a nice, good uptrending chart. See how we have this low, higher, low, higher, low, higher, low situation, and all that nice higher, high situation. It's just like what it does is just runs up, consolidates there, runs up and consolidates. And now we're in that consolidation period again. So I think by the end of the year, I think we're going to crack that 277 and then go to that march to that 300 mark. Now, here we have the RSI. This is looking 58. This is looking not too bad. You're not overbought or oversold. The green is below your red, but it looks like a sideways action. Okay, so right now, I just say, just let this thing consolidate with the rest of the market. And then once it does, okay, I just think you're going to crack that, and we're going to march right through that 300 mark. Okay, let's take a look here now at the OS OneStream. All right, here we have OneStream. Now, I can see here how we had this nice, good topping situation, sold right on down. Then we had consolidation, and then the sold right on down to that 61.51. But all you have to do is look right to the left of the chart here, okay? See what we had on the bottom there? Okay, we had 16.69. See that double bottom situation? Okay, that's what we had. Nice double bottom. Doesn't matter how far out it is. We just watch that double bottom, okay? And then look and see how nice that has been rallying up here all the way since. Now, we got above that 200-day, but you notice that it really couldn't hold it for any kind of a period of time. So now what we're doing is we're really watching on the upside is we're watching this 100-day, okay? You got to get back above that 2094 level. If we can, your next good target is going to be that 2174, and then we have that 2273, which is your 200-day, and then 2394, that is going to be your retest, okay? Now, if we can get above that, then what we do is we come march it right on up here. You got 2418 level. We'll march it right back up to here at that 2570 level. Then we just bring this price channel right across at that 2691. But this is what I want to show you right here, 2722, okay? That's your gap, okay? And then we look to the bottom of this candle at 2786. There's your gap, and there's your fill. And then we look to the top of that candle at 2886. Then we have a big retest up there at 2966. Okay, but again, you got a lot of resistance. You got the 100-day, the 8-day, and 200-day, and then we have the retest here. But once you do, you can start layering this right on up here because we had a downtrending situation. Now that downtrending is turning into an uptrend situation here. Okay, so now on the downside, you want to watch that 2003. That's going to be very, very key. We lose that, you got the 50-day at 1920 level, and then we kind of lose that. We come right here to the bottom of this candle. You're looking at 1838. And then what we do is we have 1777, and then we come down here and retest your 1651. But we had this downtrending situation. You can see this, see how we had this all the way down. We have a high, lower high, lower high. But you can see how that reversed then. Once we kind of breaking above this, now again, as long as we hold this 21-day and this 50-day, I think this thing could go higher. But let's just see how this shakes out. Right now we got a little sideways action. This here we have sideways action. And here on the MACD, we have sideways action. You're not overbought or oversold in either direction. The key is going to be getting back above that 100-day. Then we can attack that 8-day, that 200-day, and then your big retest. Okay, let's do one more. I got to do one here for my buddy Jet here. NAUT. All right, here we have Nautilus Biotech. Okay, so on this one here is really finally running up. Yeah, you can see here, see how when I say it was when stuff goes sideways like this, you build energy, and then when she rips, she just rips right up higher. Okay, so look at that nice big rip there that we had. Okay, and follow that 8-day all the way up here. Okay, so what we had here, look at this nice 8-day that's been holding the whole way, holding the whole way. Okay, so now on the downside here, what you really want to watch is just basically this retest here of this 187 level. If we lose that, we got that 162 here right below it, okay? And then we can do is we come down to your 50-day at 118, and then we come right back to 96 level. But right now, this looks like it just went all that flat ski that we're going here, all that sideways energy, and now you're building up and you're going up here very, very, very nice. Now, the key to today is right here is this 200-day. See this? 2.38. This is what you got to watch. This got to close above it. Now, you can see where you're right into it. Okay, you popped up above it, but you're sitting right there, right into it. You got to get back above that. Now, if you can, obviously, we go to today's high. You're looking at that 2.47 level, but then we just march it right on up here. See what you have there? You got 267. Okay, we come up here at 292. And then we'll look at that bad boy at 309 level. And then we can just keep on marching this thing all the way up here. What we got is you got a 325 level, and we come up here at that 345, and then we come right over here to your 4 flat level. Okay, so that's what you're going to be looking for there on the upside. Now, if you keep right on taking it out level, okay, so this is what you're going to be looking for. Okay, so we have all the way up here. You got all, what do we got up here? You got that 4 flat. This is what I'm be looking for. That's actually 465. So right here, we got that 4, and then we have 465. Now, if we get past that, we just go right to the left here. See how this is? Okay, you got 507. Crack up here. What do you got? You got a 629. Then we can keep ratcheting it over. You got 861. And look how you can take this thing all the way up here into that 12 situation. Now, I'm not saying that's where it's going to go, but I'm saying eventually this is why I like the price channels. Okay, so all you have to do is bring those price channels right across on any chart, and that's going to be all your resistance levels until we hit the big retest up in that 12 area. Okay, makes life very, very easy. Okay, but right now what you're really looking for is that 200-day. You got to get above and close above that. Then we can go to the next level. But when you look at the daily chart here, you can see how nice it just ran up here, sideways little consolidation, ran up again, little consolidation, and ran up again. So maybe I have a little consolidation, and then we might be doing the same thing. As long as we're holding this 8-day, that's going to be very, very key. You have to hold that 8-day. They can always bring these resistance levels, these support levels across, okay? That 187 level. Then we have that 163 level. Then we have that 157 level. But really, watch this 162. That's going to be very, very key if we lose that 8-day simple moving average. But realistically, say you can take this right on up, and then you have all these nice, good targets all the way up here just on your daily chart. But always use the weekly, because the weekly will give you that really big picture of, where it's been. A lot of times it's where it's going to go again. Okay, so be real patient with this. And for today's trading, just watch that 200-day. That's going to be very, very key. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here after your pit close. We'll take a look here at Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, silver, and crude oil, and natty gas. All right, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.